Hey guys, Dev Horn here at WeBuyHouses.com. Time for a Cash Offer Masterclass, episode number 18. We have another deal from Bluebonnet Properties in Garland, Texas this time. Garland's a great little community, great rental community. Just, you can find deals like this, with ARV, 300 and below, 322 type stuff. So it's just a great place to look for deals. By the way, Bluebonnet, if you have any questions about the property, reach out to Taylor at 469-283-6950. I have no association with Bluebonnet Properties, but I like to use their content in these videos. And so I want to give them a little love back. And I do really like what they do. They're a great wholesaler. And so I appreciate the emails that they send, the opportunity they've given us, which you've experienced now in all these episodes, that you can now say, hey, we're starting to figure out how to value these properties. And it's because Bluebonnet and Fazio have been sending us these emails that we could deconstruct and kind of get into. So, all right. So this property, Garland, Texas, is a 311 built in 1967. It's 1,194 square feet. Bluebonnet says the ARV, or the after repaired value, will be $290,000, and they're selling it for the low price of $170,000. So it's a huge amount of space, for $120,000 to fix up the house, make profit, whatever. Let's see if that works out for us. Now, what we found when we went out and looked on Zillow is that Zillow had the property at $222,400. So considerably lower than the $290K on Zillow. And if you look at Zillow's price history, they never really had this house over $250. So $251, $252, $252, $253. So that was about their max on this. And they think it's dropped back down to $221. That could very well be true in this housing market. But we look over at Realtor, and we see the same property listed over there at $277,360. So we're getting closer to the ARV of $290 stated by the wholesaler, but we're not quite there yet. And when I looked at Property Radar, what I saw was Property Radar had it at $259,488. I can't show you Property Radar because it's got all the owner's information there. I can't show that. So what I did over here on this side is a little exercise for you guys. It was taught to me by a guy named Mike Maldonado, who is a great home investors guy, the We Buy Ugly Houses people. He taught me a lot of what I know about buying and selling real estate. And he would often take three values, and he would look for three values at least so that he could average them and say, what's the ARV? And sometimes, he would have market value from the county or whatever as a data feed into his calculation. But this would be a typical calculation that he would do to say, hey, you got a range of value that's $55,000 higher on Realtor than it is on Zillow. And Property Radar is right there in the middle. The average came out to $253,083. And so what I did over here is I put in the address in my model, I put in the square footage, and then I calculated it's 212 a square foot to get to 253,128. That sounds good to me. 212 per square foot is our ARV on this property. And so that's where we're going to start from. We're at 253, they're at 290. Now, we see this quite often. If you're a cash buyer, the wholesalers, they've always got a very optimistic point of view about the property that they've caught on the hook, right? And they're saying, oh, it's so beautiful, it's so great, it's so wonderful. And you gotta kind of weigh, reality against what you're being told by the wholesalers. We're not gonna go at 290 on the property, but hey, they're only asking 170. And now in my model, right away you can see if the house is valued at 253, and if it needed no renovation, no updating, nothing, no repairs, it's I would offer 177 for the property. So if this property only needs about 7,000 in repairs, it's gonna be a sweet deal. It's gonna be a sweet deal for us. Let's go see. Let's jump into the photos. I love the photos. It's my favorite part. I haven't looked at the photos. We do this together. They've got a ton of photos, so we're gonna do it kind of quickly. Can't really dwell on this, but basically we've got a painted brick house. And, it's kind of got that black and white thing going on. Hey, a lot of investors are doing kind of the black and white thing these days. I just want to go ahead and say, I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. It's the laziest thing for an investor to do is to throw white paint on and black trim on a house. It's the laziest. Now, I've seen two of them that were beautiful, that were executed so well, you would think I'm crazy for even critiquing this. But I see 8 out of 10, 9 out of 10. They look like this. They don't look good. They've just taken some very cheap white and black paint, and that's what they've done to the house. I think an investor did this. Maybe a homeowner did it, but I think an investor. Hey, let's jump back to the email. What did it tell us? Roof good, HVAC older, foundation slab. No kidding. Yeah, of course it's slab. Let me get rid of that other one. All right. So they said roof right. Roof good. Yeah. HVAC older. Interesting. All right. Hey, we got a camera. We can look at the people coming up to the house. We got a wire there for something. They're gonna wire something up. What is that? Get rid of that. Yeah, that roof does look pretty good. Not gonna lie, looks pretty good. Yeah, nice. All right, jumping into it. Somebody had a tree once. Tree's not there. All right, we got a window unit built into the wall. That's dedication. That's dedication. You had a window there, but nah, you're going to cut a hole in the wall and stick it in there because you don't plan on replacing the HVAC in a long time. Remember what they said, HVAC older. Wah, wah, wah. When you see that, it's not only older, they hunkered in to the window unit. God, these windows have like these horrible black screens on them. And then that paint is just hideous. Man, I see investors doing this all the time. It just makes me sick. Like, God, number one, I think, bring a woman with you to go make decisions. This is like a guy decision. It's like devoid of any sense of style or whatever. Bring a woman so that she can tell you what's good or bad. I think they sealed up the freaking garage doors here. Look at this. Yeah, I think that's from the other side, like a sealant or something, and they probably converted the garage into something. Look at that sideways piece of siding on there. That should be brick, and it probably, sometimes it's such a small, thin slice of brick that if the house moves at all, it kind of jacks it up. They've covered that up with that. That looks, yeah. Spending too much time. Let's get going. Okay, we're coming up here, and we see this is something that is very interesting. I think there was water damage here. The water damaged the wood. This is where all your electrical and your cable and all that crap's coming in. Internet's going through there, right there, my friends. And there's a little bit more to that siding. They must have got a good deal on that siding. Had a few extra pieces. The effort to paint this brick is childish. I would love to talk to the people that did that, and I would ask them to cease and desist working on houses. All right, another one of those. Yeah, we saw that. We saw that. We can start. Whoop, 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 whoop. Where were we? I got out. Hang on. I got a little bit out of. There we go. I clicked off when I should have clicked on. Door. Yep. Ring doorbell. We're looking at you. Any color other than white, like gray, anything. White. It's horrible. Hey, we've seen this one time before. I had a house that had this, and nobody would want it, but it's the concentric circle texturing. If you look, it's a complete. I would imagine at the time that they did this, that there were masters at this. Like my first house, when I walked in, it had this. It looked like record albums, like LPs on the ceiling that overlapped, because each one of them is a perfect circular swoop of the tool to make it. And so they've done the texturing and then smooth to get these circles out. I keep hitting my mic. It's got to go. It's horrible. It's from the 60s. And when was the house built? 67. Yeah. This is the original ceiling on that house from 67. They didn't do it too much after that, but you see it in Texas. And also everything was paneled. And so somebody's come in here and done that. Again, God, I'm disgusted by the cheap white, like any color other than white. When you're going to redo a house, there's beiges, there's grays, there's blues, there's anything to do besides white. White it's gross in its lack of imagination. It just it upsets me. I'm sorry. So there's that ceiling again. Isn't that cool? I got to quit looking at it. Floor's not that bad. A lot of times in houses like this, what you're going to find is, that's a cool floor. Oh, that's a cool floor. There's a cool floor over there and a cool floor over there and there's like 4 or 5 or 6 or 7 different kinds of flooring. Let's see if we have it here. That's just these are cheap sheets of vinyl that look like boards. So each of these is like a sheet. It's the cheapest. But honestly, like if this is a rental home, yeah, that tile and that vinyl plank, or what? That's not even plank. It's just big pieces. Like it's like that thing is like paneling for the wall, but laid on the floor. That's what that is. Big sheets of paneling. The kitchen. Man, they got a lot of crap in here. And some cookies. Look at that. Valentine's Day cookies, maybe. Ceiling, gross. Full cosmetic. Look, I'm not going to pick this house apart. Look, it's actually decent. It's actually pretty nice. Yeah. Countertops are 1967 linoleum or whatever. I don't know what that is, but it's not. You don't want it. Cabinets. You could reface them or just replace them. There's not that many of them, to be honest. Wouldn't take much. And you get that black maybe we'll leave that black table for you free, because this would be the area you'd have your kitchen table, and that would be your kitchen. Your breakfast nook. Yeah. That kitchen's a full redo. This is a full cosmetic. Nobody wants those counters. Nobody's going to buy this house. Kind of gross. No offense. Somebody lived here for a long time. Pantry. Let's see. Got some sliced pears from 1987 and some garbanzo beans from the 90s. And Lord knows when that beef broth is from. Don't go near that. It could explode. All right. Laundry room. Man, this looks so familiar to one from a recent deal we did. I swear. It looks like if I went back 3 or 4 episodes, you would recognize the room. We are seeing the hot water heater, which I do enjoy greatly. And I think it's a gas. Looks like it has the gas exhaust. Can't see much about it as far as age. There's a pan under it, which means it was installed after we started putting pans under them. So I don't know. It could be 20 years old, but it doesn't look horrible. They didn't say anything about it. We're going to hope it's good. Whoa, 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 friends. Do you see a year? Anybody see a year? If you do, put it in the comments because I missed it. I don't see the year. It is nice to see the labels, but many of them. Oh, whoa, 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 whoa. Winner, winner, chicken dinner. Look at that. Manufacturing date 2017. I'm going to call this good. Very good. They don't fail that quickly, so I'm going to go good, good, good. We found the date on the label. If you're a wholesaler, show the mechanicals, show the labels. If there's a date, we want to see that date. When I do repairs on a house and I install new, say, a new air conditioning unit or something, I write on it with a Sharpie who installed it and when they installed it. Now, for me, it allows me to go back and say, hey, you just guys did this 3 years ago. It doesn't work or whatever. But for you, it allows you to say, hey, this unit was replaced at this time by these people. And there's so much value to that. That appears to be a garage with a ceiling fan. I'm guessing that's a garage with a ceiling fan. Got some big old tires back there. All right. We've got our electrical panel, which I think is from 1967, and it's very simple. It's a GE panel. The circuit breaker load center, y'all. Look at that. Yeah, not much. There's not a lot of expansion capability with this old panel. You know, as you add circuits for other things like a swimming pool or, you know, whatever, you want to put in a circuit into your garage to charge your Tesla or whatever. There's probably no breaker there for that, and there's no place to put it. That's my one thing looking at that is most of these that I see have a lot more room for more breakers. So that's my main thought there. Doesn't look horrible. It's a GE, so it's not in one of the brands that you freak out about. There's some brands, I'm blanking on the name right now, but as soon as the electricians see them, they're just like, no, you got to replace that. All right. We'll say it's good. The lights are on. It's not burning down, so we're going to say things are pretty good. There's that flooring again. There's that panel that we were just looking at. Yeah, look, guys, let's just move on through. There's a ceiling with some boards on it. I do kind of like that same flooring is showing up. It's cheap flooring. But if it's consistent and you were to turn this into a rental, you might go with it because it's cohesive. It's in all the rooms, you know, and it's decent enough. So this is a bedroom. What did we say on this house? 3 bedroom, 1 bath. Look at that. I mean, the walls got this like a plank or ridged paneling product. It's all right. There's nothing wrong with it. That, I believe, we're in the house because we saw the garage earlier. This is not the garage. This almost looks like something somebody did on purpose. Like, I don't get this. I don't get this. I don't know what I'm looking at. It definitely needs to be repaired and replaced. Wow. It's kind of crazy. Don't get it. And the floor's got to go. This is a huge room though. Looks like it could be a huge asset to the house if it was made into something, but it's halfway there. Speaking of halfway there is the BMW. You can probably get a good deal on this thing. it might throw in the tools and floor mats and what is that? Doormats. Okay. 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 Wait, what was that? Look at that thing over there. Man, this reminds me of like when you see a property that's built in like the 20s or 30s or 40s, like 100-year-old property. Sometimes you'll see stuff like that. We're talking 67, yeah. Yeah, the Beamer has seen better days, and so has that outdoor shed. And let's see. They gave me a couple of pictures of the outdoor shed. This might be that room we were looking at. Something is horrifically wrong here. This thing looks like it was added on. Why would you do this? Like, why would you add something on and not finish it? Because immediately the weather is going to attack these unfinished surfaces and they will be worthless in short order. And I think they may be there now. Like this particle board used to build walls, horrible. Well, it's a good product if it doesn't get wet. If it gets wet, it's sawdust. There's our condenser unit. It's not looking too happy. They said older, and I think, yep, that's definitely older. That just perplexes me. And even that window, this wall doesn't look level, or straight right there. That corner doesn't look straight, does it? Do you see what I'm seeing? This is. I have no words. Like you don't see many things like that have been added on like that. Outside condenser unit. I'm gonna go ahead and say no bueno. I'm going no bueno on this thing. It just looks. Number one, it's not on the little cement slab thing, right? It's been turned, and number two, it's in horrible condition. I'm betting. Now we're just looking at the outside of it. I mean, it's all right, but yeah, who knows? I've got in some of these. I have some of these that are so old, but I've replaced the compressor, the fan motor, all the electronics. Like, so you can take something like this and rebuild it rather than replace it, but it looks pretty old. All right. The BMW. Somebody just like one day parked the BMW there and said, it ain't working. It's going to stay here. It's going to stay here forever. That may be there forever. Like it may be required. Like if you buy the house, you're required to keep the BMW there. I don't know. I'm just kidding. There's something that looks so wrong about this edition. So wrong. The fact that they didn't finish it is the wrongest thing. You just know it makes no sense to do that. And then you've got all this lumber here that's just laying out in the elements. I don't know. Would that keep straight? That one might. I don't know about that. It's just things drive me crazy. Circle ceiling. Is that a step down? Look at that step down. Kabunk. Wow. 1967. Right there. That door was painted last in 1967. All this painted last in 1967. That's crazy, right? It's like we're in a time capsule. We are going into a bathroom and something happened here. Something weird. Okay, we're in the bathroom. The circles on the ceiling have followed us into the bathroom. And man, it's pretty disgusting. It's old. 1967. Now somebody replaced this. Sort of. This all needs to be ripped out. This is not the way you do it. Man, they took a smaller vanity and framed it in with this tile or something. It's not the way you do it. Tear that out. Tear that out. Put a regular vanity. Yeah. That's, probably pull that toilet, replace that toilet. That toilet looks like from 67. Toilets are cheap, my friends. Go to Lowe's, one like $139. You can get a brand new toilet. It's not a big deal. Um, yeah. Sink doesn't look horrible. Like the walls, everything. It's full cosmetic. That bathtub is so gross. Wow. Wow. Look at that. Yeah. The tub might be able to be refinished, but certainly that all needs to be redone. There's a love to see toilets. Here's a bedroom. I think this is the master because it's kind of bigger. I swear that I keep clicking and it shows me the same picture. I think this is a different bedroom. Yeah, there's its closet. Oh, there we go. And that's very old. Very old. Wow. Wow. Yeah, that's furnace. Air handler furnace. There's your evaporator coil. Yeah, it's just, it looks very old. Very old. They said older. Yep. I'm going to say HVAC this thing. This is like very, very old unit. Wait. Look at that. Isn't this what I've told you guys? Put a date on there. It's from 2000. So it's 25 years old. So it probably is pretty freaking old. But, and I think Soupy did it. Soupy replaced this in 2000 in maybe July or January or something, 2000. Thank you so much, 25 years ago, for writing that on there. It just makes life so much easier for all of us. Look at this little deal. As you come in, there's like an altar to goofiness right there. They're selling Benchmark something. What in the world were they doing in 1967, man? What were they doing? They might have been, were they doing acid back then, maybe? Because somebody was tripping when they did this. That is crazy. Oh, that's coming off the entryway, too. Remember? Like entryway, and you step down off the cracked tiles. That's part of your entryway. Some rocks in there. Dumb. You know what I would do? Yeah, I think this would just go. I don't know. It's gotta go. It's stupid. You can't keep it. Whatever. Okay, old siding up here. It hasn't been touched since 1967. The brick doesn't look horrible. It doesn't. The windows look old from 67. So you might need some windows. That's about $3 to $4 on a house like this. And I think we're at the end of the pictures. Okay. What did we see? What did we see here on this house at 3927 Norma Drive in Garland? We saw full cosmetic and we saw full repairs. And that gives us 19,000 on a house of this size. The other thing that I'm pretty sure we saw is HVAC. They said the roof was good. They didn't really say anything about the foundation. I didn't see a lot of cracks, did you? I just saw a lot of grossness, around, I don't know, the bathrooms, everything needed to be redone. I'm concerned that $20,000 is not enough. Now, just so you know how my model works, if you go to the expense variables, you'll see I've got $10 per square foot for cosmetics. So if you come over here and you say 1, it's going to apply $10 times 1194 equals 11,940. Now, there's two ways I could adjust that if I think I'm low on my budget for making this place look good, I could either go to 125%, which is 1.25, or whatever number I choose, or I could go into the expense variables and I could change that 10 to a different number, like 12 or something. For right now, I like 10, especially paired up with my general repairs estimate of $6 per square foot. So if I set 100% of both of those, I'm at $16 a square foot to kind of fix the house up. You guys see how that works? And so I am concerned that the cosmetic is a little light on this deal. It just, those ceilings, those circular ceiling things, you got to get somebody up there. They have to completely retexture the whole ceiling. It's a lot of work. It's thousands of dollars. And I think somebody's got to do that to this house. That house has been on the earth for almost 60 years. Nobody has fixed it. Whoever buys this house, fix it. Do the work. Somebody do the work. And that craziness of that unfinished outside, man, think about that. That whole, I don't know if it's like an addition that they had just wrapped with plastic and particle board and no finish out. It makes me think I need to put 125% here, which would give me a little bit more to work with. So see, my model is not necessarily constraining me. And also you can see that part of what I'm doing is thinking about projects that I've done in the past and what it cost me to do something. And so you'll develop that kind of skill set as you go along because you've seen this 100 times, so you kind of have a better idea, and that causes me to say I need more than that on those two categories. This house needs a lot of cosmetic work, and that's why I'm going with 125% instead of 100% on those two categories. And with that and an HVAC, I'm at $31,000. That's $26 per square foot. I'm still a little concerned, honestly, with that unfinished addition, that there could be some real discoveries made as you start to try to, finish that thing out, that they left it there for 15 or 20 years in the elements or whatever, and maybe you got to tear off a lot of that. Man, it could be a nightmare. So that's why I'm loading these up a little bit more than usual. And I'm going to stop there. Let's go back and look at the deal. Okay, they had 3927 Norman Drive in Garland as a 290 ARV. We have it at 253 based upon our average of those three sources. So we're going to go 253. They're offering it for $170K. Our cash offer calculation is $146. That's interesting. And so we're significantly lower than what they're wanting, 170. What is the difference? We're at, what is that, 24,000? Yeah, 150, yeah, 24,000. So we're considerably lower than they are. And I think part of it is, their ARV is high. And so it makes this number look better. But if you bring that ARV down to where it really ought to be, then it puts pressure on that number. Now, they may have bought it for 150 or 160, and they've marked it up a little bit, and they're trying to sell it and make $10K off the cash buyer, which would be completely understandable. This wholesaler went out and found this deal, got it under contract. They went out hunting. They brought it back. All you got to do is cook it. So you didn't have to do the hunting and the shooting and all that stuff that some people don't enjoy. So, is that spread worth 24? No, not to me. Now, the other thing that we've talked about is you could say there's a difference in what you would offer for this property if you were going to rent it versus flip it. When you flip it, you need your numbers to look like this, because otherwise you're going to flip it and make no money. Like if you paid $170 for this thing and you actually incurred $31K in repairs, you're going to flip this property and make about $7K, and that's going to really, really suck. Like all the work that goes into a project like this just to make no money. You've got to buy it right. It's all about the cash offer, and that's what we teach here. So, hey, that's where we're at on this property. Go to Cash Offer Masterclass, click on Get the Calculator, become part of the community, and let's work on some deals together. We got, we post our videos on that site and all that kind of good stuff. But basically, the most important part to me is that you become part of the community so we get to know each other, work on deals together, and make profits together. That's what we're in this for, right? And so thank you guys so much. It's been a pleasure to spend some time with you today, and I look forward to seeing you tomorrow.